What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Taking the Pin. And today we are going to be going through our predictions for Night of Champions, which is appearing on our screens this very Saturday. And we've got 6 matches to go through, so let's get into it. Starting off with the King and Queen of the Rings matches, we'll start with the Kings first. We've got Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes to become King of the Ring. Bragster, who do you think is winning this tournament and why?
I can't tell if they're doing this as a red herring or not, because the temptation they must have to do Randy versus Cena again
Yeah.
must be really high, especially given that their last one was arguably one of their best matches they've ever had. But I think they're still going to go with Cody. I think that Cody is the right choice here. I do not want Cody to be the last match of Cena's, and I feel like if Randy wins here, Cody has to almost be the last match. I think it makes more sense to do the WrestleMania rematch at SummerSlam for the 2-night SummerSlam. I think that it's also less predictable whether Cena will win or lose. It will probably be the first time during the run where we actually feel like maybe he'll lose it. Whereas I think with Randy, I just think we don't believe that would happen. I don't see Randy being the one to beat Cena. So I think they're going to go for the unpredictability factor, the fact that Cody is the biggest babyface in the company. It is the first 2-night at the SummerSlam. So therefore, they're going to want to almost make it another Mania. And the best way is to make it a WrestleMania rematch, but the match be better. So I think they're going to go with Cody.
Absolutely. No, I 100% agree. I can see the Randy scenario, and I can see them maybe doing something a bit different, like, say, Randy wins, and then you've got maybe Punk feels a bit betrayed by the whole ending to Night of Champions. Maybe if Cena cheats or does something, and then it makes it a triple threat or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you've got sort of this final match for Cena and Orton and Punk all together, and this, that, and the other. But I do think that it's kind of building to the rematch from WrestleMania. I think it makes the most sense. I think there's a couple of ways it could go differently. I think if Randy does win, it might not necessarily be Cena walking out of Night of Champions with the title, because I think there is a very good chance that Seth would cash in that instance. But I think if Cody wins, then I think it's Cody and Cena again at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And maybe that's where you get the Seth cash in. But I agree, I think it's Cody in terms of who wins that one. Moving on to the next match, we've got the Queen of the Ring final between Asuka and Jade Cargill. Asuka obviously making a nice hot return from a very long injury layoff that I didn't quite realize had been so long.
Me neither.
But again, she's looked great coming back and has obviously come back 100% healthy, and that's great to see, and hasn't really missed a step while she's been away. And then we've got Jade Cargill on the other side, who's just beat Roxanne in the final. In terms of who I think will win this one, I'm personally going for Jade, because it feels like it's her time to get a shot at one of the big titles. Whether she wins the title or not, I'm not 100% sure. But I do think it's her time. As much as I would love to see Asuka go on a really hot streak and get that old Asuka momentum back, I do think it is Jade's time. What do you think?
I'm glad you went with Jade, because my instinct is saying Asuka. I think in one of the last year, King and Queen of the Ring finals both felt quite obvious, and they went with it. I think with this one, I think they're going to pull a red herring out somewhere, and I think the only chance of that is the women's. I think they're going to... We've all seen the reports that Jade is due a big push heading into Evolution. I think that's going to be different. I feel like, obviously, whoever wins here gets the title shot at SummerSlam. So I think that Jade might be able to sneak her way into the title picture for Evolution instead.
Right.
And instead, Asuka's the one that then goes on to SummerSlam. I think Asuka is as much as I really like Jade, I think Asuka has this threat presence about her of being the Queen of the Ring and being able to sit at ringside for both title matches will be really interesting. Obviously, we know that she wants to face Io, so that you kind of that sort of building there. But having her at both champions, sort of almost like a mini Money in the Bank of like, I'm facing one of you, I just don't know which one yet.
Yeah.
It is quite interesting. It sort of adds this feel of like the Money in the Bank, the Royal Rumble, and I feel like Asuka's got this star presence that would do that really well. And I feel like Asuka not being on Evolution, but having this moment here and then having the match at SummerSlam, I think doesn't harm her at all.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Jade not being on Evolution would feel really weird.
Yeah.
I think Evolution's going to be a moment where she gets a really big victory. I don't know what kind of form.
Yeah.
It could literally be you run back the whole Naomi thing and she beats the Miss Money in the Bank. I can 100% see that happening. But yeah, I'm going to go with Asuka on this one.
Okay, awesome. And next up, we've got the men's US Championship match between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. So, of course, Fatu picking up the belt from Mania over LA Knight, and what was probably quite a good match, really, all things considered. When you look up and down the card, that's probably one of the more surprising ones to be high up the list in terms of match ratings. So, do you think Solo picks up the win here, or do you think Jacob retains?
I really don't know. This one's really making my skin crawl because I've just got this feeling that numbers game is at some point gonna get to Fatu, and I don't know whether they're gonna do the title change here and Fatu gets it back at SummerSlam, and you have this big moment, or you have Fatu maybe lose it at SummerSlam. I'm really not sure how they're going to go about it. I'm going to go with Fatu. I'm going to go safe, and I'm going to go with Fatu. But I can 100% see some sort of screwy finish, especially with all of Solo's sort of mini enemies sort of disappearing. Solo's sort of gaining this power back, and Solo's on hot form. Like, watching him in that Money in the Bank match, he did not feel out of place whatsoever. He carried a lot of that match, and a lot of fans will not give him credit for how much he carried that Money in the Bank match due to the many bits of comedy and character work that he did in between the spots just to give the wrestlers breathing room. It was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I think they will want to reward Solo at some point. I just think maybe it might be at SummerSlam they do that. So I'm going to go with Fatu.
Okay. I'm also with you in terms of I'm 50-50. The way I envision it is that I think Jimmy might come out to help, but I think obviously Jeff Cobb will be there with Solo as well, and maybe something happens and then Solo just gets a roll up or something and he runs away with it. And then maybe SummerSlam we have a double, like we have a tag team match between Jacob and Jimmy versus Solo and Jeff. I just think the work Solo's been doing recently has been a step up. I think he's got better as time has gone on. I don't think he's been bad by any stretch of the imagination, all the way from his mute character where he didn't say a lot, all the way through to him being the fake tribal chief, as I coin it, and all the way to now. Like, his character work, his comedy, his timing, everything like that is great. And I think he was a big component of that Money in the Bank ladder match being as good as it was, like you say. And I think that having him win this title now is kind of a way to kind of boost his level a little bit, especially against someone as popular as Fatu. And it also lets you see what's Solo like with a title. Like, how does that look? What does that look like? How can he make that special? And I do think there has been a little bit of lack of story with the US title, other than obviously it's more Jacob's story than it is the US title story.
Yeah.
So I do think this is maybe a time for him to freshen it up, and then it's maybe time for Fatu to go on to the next thing, whether that's a big title push or just a singles run where he's knocking down some bigger opponents. We'll have to wait and see.
Mhm.
But again, I could see Jacob winning this with the help of Jimmy, and that's maybe how they start to form an alliance there. Especially after SmackDown with Jimmy running out and trying to help him and even up the numbers a little bit, but we'll wait and see on that one. But yeah, my pick for that one is going to be Solo on that one. I'm not 100% confident at all, but I'm going with Solo. So next up, we've got Rhea versus Raquel in a street fight. Of course, this all being set up in the past few weeks with the Queen of the Ring quality matches, and obviously them both getting involved with each other. And, of course, the unfortunate injury with Liv Morgan playing its part in this as well. Now, the obvious answer here is that Rhea wins. Now, to me, there is no better way to give a boost to Raquel here, even if it's through nefarious means, than to give her a win, even in a street fight with Rhea.
Yes.
The reason I think that it's going to be Raquel is because of what happened last night on Raw, which is Roxanne saved a bacon and Raquel put Rhea through the table in the end. I think we'll get something like that again. Triple H is very good at foretelling what's going to happen. And most people still are in that old mindset, and I have been victim to this mindset many a time when we've done these predictions of you don't have the winner of the match on the show before looking strong.
Yeah.
Who would do such a thing? Never do that.
Nope.
And Triple H does it a bunch of times. And I just think that if they're continuing, obviously the Liv Morgan situation means that they're going to probably push the Roxanne story a little bit more. And that probably starts with getting Raquel on board.
Yeah.
And you could see that was starting to happen last night on Raw. And I think, again, another step in that direction will be Raquel getting the win over Rhea. And it's a great thing for Raquel going into Evolution to say, I beat Rhea. What more do I need to do? And we'll see what goes from there. So, yeah, I'm going with Raquel for that one.
That's so annoying. Why?
Because it makes sense.
No, because it makes sense. And I thought we might have differed on this one. And I don't think we are, because I think I'm also going to go with Raquel. Am I? Oh, you can't bet against Rhea bloody Ripley. She's so annoying. Yeah, I'm going to go with Raquel. Again, because of the Roxanne thing. I think they're telling the same story twice. They are telling the Rhea Liv story with Roxanne and Liv. The difference is, I think what they're telling this time is that Roxanne isn't going to take Dom. Roxanne's just removing Liv. Just like ruining Liv's life. Liv's entire plan was to take down Rhea Ripley, but then she also got Dom. I don't think Roxanne is interested in Dom. I don't think Roxanne is interested in Raquel. I think Roxanne is only interested in taking Liv's spot up the card. I think that's the story they're telling with this one, which is a slight variation. I think that the red herring in this one is purely that you expect it to be the same story twice, and then even Dom maybe does. And you have this really funny moment where Roxanne's like, I'm not interested. And that will be such an interesting moment in Dom's character as well. And that can be where Dom goes off on his own away from the Judgment Day, etc., etc. I think that, I think the one of two options happens here is either Raquel wins and Rhea is taken out entirely and isn't at Evolution. Not very likely. Or that Rhea loses because Roxanne gets involved, and then you bring back Nikki Bella. And rather than it be the Bella twins, you have it be Rhea and Nikki, which I know will be a weird pairing, and I know won't feel right, but at the end of the day, when injury occurs, you have to pivot. And this would be quite a clever pivot, especially if they were planning on maybe doing a singles match between Liv and Nikki. And if Brie actually wasn't available until SummerSlam,
Mm.
per se, which some of the rumors were, then maybe this could be a very good pivot. I think Raquel wins here, and that's what leads into the Evolution stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I 100% agree. But the other thing that I'm taking out of this as well is that when Rhea came back, I know she was already in the height of her popularity then. But if Liv going away when she was probably at the height of her popularity, even though she's a bad guy, she's a heel,
Yeah.
like she's not necessarily supposed to be getting cheered all the time. When she comes back, that moment is gonna she could be up there in terms of Rhea popularity. Like that could be the boost. And hopefully it's not the longest time out for her, but obviously I'm hoping that she comes back and it's not just going to be she gets laid off again. But fingers crossed, obviously, for her recovery. So we'll go on to the second last match, and it's the match we've probably been waiting for a long time on this channel. It's Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross, with obviously Scarlett as his manager. It's one we've been waiting for a long time. It seems to have been building since before Royal Rumble, with all the backstage promos, the snipes that Kross has made, the hairstyle changes that Kross has made, whether it's with Sammy, with AJ, whoever he's been talking to. Who've you got winning, Bragster?
The issue, there's loads of issues with this card, and that's why I'm really enjoying this card, because I think a lot of the matches are 50-50. You've got Sami Zayn with a crowd that absolutely adore him, and you've got the fact that this is Karrion Kross's first PLE singles match since 2022.
Yeah.
Like, if anyone needs a victory, it is Karrion Kross. But it's Sami Zayn, and it's really difficult. Stuff it. Karrion Kross is winning. And that is half heart overhead, half. I'm just looking at the card and looking at which baby faces and which heels are winning in my predictions. And also, I think I have a feeling, as I've sort of hinted at before, that SummerSlam's going to feel like a Mania this year because of the fact that it's the first two-nighter. And that could be maybe the moment that Sammy gets the win. And maybe we see a bit more of a ruthless side of Sammy. Maybe we see a little bit of a stipulation. Or, it's just a bit more intense. I feel like the only way to make this more intense is to have Sammy lose here and then go on to win. Almost, the babyface has to face some adversity before getting the big win. I can't see what Sammy would do at SummerSlam if it isn't Kross at this point. So, therefore, I'm going to go with Kross to keep Sammy busy.
Right, okay. I agree. I do think that it makes more sense for Kross to win. The other scenario I have in my head is if Sammy wins, I can see the switch also being flicked on Kross, in that we see that killer side come out and there's maybe a backstage segment on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or whenever, and Sammy gets taken out and Kross is standing over him, similar to that Drew moment. I'll never forget it, when the shutter comes up and Drew's just stood over Punk. Like, something's not necessarily that exact thing, but that sort of level of Kross is here now, we know he means business, even though he's lost. The real Kross is here and he's coming for Sammy at SummerSlam. And then you put that stipulation in of maybe, I don't know, not necessarily a TLC match, but maybe a steel cage match or something like that. I do think, though, there is something to be said that Sammy is going to Saudi Arabia, and obviously they love him over there, and it's in a card where I think a lot of the heels are probably going to win. They would like one or two babyface pops to have. So the likes of Cody, I mean, Randy's obviously not a heel, so you'll probably get a pop anyway. But Cody winning, Cena's probably going to get a decent reaction anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside of that, you've obviously got Solo and Raquel, who we're thinking is going to potentially win as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think there is that argument to be made that Sami probably wins it, especially after the disappointment of him not getting King of the Ring.
Mm-hmm. More adversity.
But
More.
yes, it adds to the adversity.
Always more.
I just think the bottom line of it all to me is that I don't think you can have Cross talking like he has to Sami all this time, and then Sami just win. I think that adversity is important, and I think Cross is obviously part of the lesson of what Sami needs to learn, and that's to be more ruthless. So with that being said, I'm going to go Cross to win.
Oh, you turned yourself around.
I did, yeah. I did. I've had internal struggle on that one ever since I saw that it was happening. Yeah, I think Cross has to win. I just think that if you're not that necessarily Cross is going to go on this massive push and he's going to get a massive build or anything like that, but I just think if you're playing into what the character's about and what he's been doing with Sami has to lose the first one, surely, to make sense, really.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And that leads us to our main event of the night. A match, what, 12 years? 13 years in the making? However long it is. It was all over the blooming show the other day on SmackDown saying it's the first match in however many years. It's John Cena as your greatest champion of all time, as he likes to call himself, versus CM Punk, the voice of the voiceless. In terms of who's winning this, it's Cena. I would love nothing more than CM Punk to win this, because obviously I'm a massive CM Punk fan. But regardless of where my allegiances may lie, regardless of who I want to win, the two outcomes at the end of Night of Champions, there are two outcomes. Cena retains and walks away and has that title above his head, or Cena retains and Seth cashes in. Yeah. Those are the two scenarios in my head, because I just can't see Punk winning it. It just doesn't make sense. It just, as great as it would be, and as much as I would love it, I don't think in the whole grand scheme of the story that they're telling, I think if there is going to be this redemption arc at some point for Cena, I think Seth is going to play a big role in that, and I just don't see Punk being the champion. I just think you don't have Cena lose it at Night of Champions. You have him probably lose it. If he's going to lose it soon, he probably loses it at SummerSlam. From a cash-in or from Cody beating him. And then maybe a cheeky cash-in after that. To set up Cody, Seth, maybe. I don't know. But
yeah.
I love Punk. I want Punk to win a title. I think his time will be coming in the next year. But I can't see a scenario where it happens, unless there's some sort of mind-blowing thing I see on SmackDown that makes me go, oh, maybe they are going to do it. But I don't think they would pull that trigger necessarily at Night of Champions, especially when it's Cena's last title reign, really.
No, I get that. Which is why I'm going the other. No, I'm not. I'm going to
say you can't pretend. You can't even fool me with that one.
No, I'm going Cena. But I think they're going to be clever with it. I think like Triple H loves playing off of history, this and the other. I think they're going to do the same thing again. I think they're going to have Seth versus Punk at SummerSlam. Punk probably beats him, and everyone goes, "Well, that's it for Seth," and you forget a little bit about Seth. And I don't think he cashes in at SummerSlam. I just think that they play off of the thing of, oh, we've seen this before. Like, he loses night one, and everyone starts theorizing on ready for night two. Oh, Seth's cashing in. Okay, Seth's cashing in, and instead that doesn't happen or it gets stopped. in some way, shape, or form.
Maybe a return of the tribal chief.
Maybe, yes, exactly that. That would make a lot of sense. Of you have, maybe he tries to cash in mid-match. Cody's down, Cena's down. Oh no, we've seen this all before. Here comes a theme song. No, it's not Fiend. it's a song that's much better and actually has a wrestler coming down to the ring that can actually wrestle and get involved in the match. Isn't that lovely? Oh no, Roman Reigns is back. Something similar to that. I could very much see happening. Yeah, I think Cena's winning this one. As you said, I think it's going to be mapped out when he's losing the title for Cena. And for a lot of title reigns, I don't like that. For someone like Cena, I do like that, because that is how you manage to build stars along the way. You have the nice marquee matches, this, that, and the other that you need that don't have that much jeopardy, and then you have the ones that do, and they matter more. So yeah, it's gonna be Cena in this one, and he's gonna end up facing Cody, and we're gonna get a rematch.
I do think though that I don't necessarily think it's going to be as straightforward as it might be 1-on-1. I think they might add some other element in, whether there's a stipulation or there's a third man that comes into it, or maybe it's a 4-way. I don't know. Maybe they just go all out.
No, leave it. Let them redo it. Let us rewrite history. Do classic WWE, rewrite history, pretend WrestleMania never happened, call this the singles match between Cody and Cena. We never have to speak about the other one again, for the love of God. Please just redo the match, but do it right this time. Please.
Okay. I'm just saying, I just think there might be something to it. Not necessarily that there's going to be another person. That's not where I'm putting all my eggs in the basket, but I think they might do some form of stipulation where it's steel cage or something like that, or
Travis Scott in a shark cage match.
I mean, you joke.
No. I'm not putting that into existence, and that is not happening. No.
Well, there's me going to do some match configurations on 2K in a little bit. Anyway, on that shambolic note, we shall leave it there, folks. Let us know down in the comments, what do you think of Night of Champions? Are you looking forward to it? Who do you think's going to win? All of the above. Let us know. And as always, if you want to see more wrestling content, hit that subscribe button, and we shall catch you on the next one for more wrestling chat. See you there.